Hello, this is your friendly nurse and health coach, and we are coming today on Q&A on artificial sweeteners and sodas. Well, I have some questions here, and I would love for you to send in your questions that you have on artificial sweeteners and sodas. Anything that you would love to comment about, ask you. My first question was, what is added sugars? Added sugars is all those, when you look at the ingredients and they said added sugars is the sugar that they have added to the products that are not naturally in the products. It's not a natural sugar, it's an extra sugar, one of these sweeteners sugars that we uh, will be discussing today. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. So that was the first question that someone sent in. What is the added sugars? The added sugars are all those sugars that are not natural that they have added to the product, to the soda or the juice, as we are discussing today. That is the added sugars. Hello, everyone. Hello. The number two question that someone sent in was that I said that stevia is less calories and sweeter than sugar. Yes, it is. And it's very safe for you because it's less calories. And it'll give you the sweetener that you love, but it's a little bit bitter than sugar. And that's why some people don't like the stevia. It's like 3 times sweeter than the sugar, but they just don't like the bitter taste of it. But I love stevia. To me, it's the best sweetener that's safe, natural sweetener that's safe out there to use. Yes, stevia is a plant, and it's grown, and they take the stevia of you want the dried stevia plant, and the one that's dried and haven't had a lot of refounding and a lot of processing done with it. You want it by in the original state that it come in. You want to use that stevia in that state to get the best results that you need. Let's see. Another question that someone sent in was why bad teeth mess up their body. And as I told you, the sugar contents of the sweeteners will mess up your teeth. Most sugar, refined sugar, and it's not the natural stuff will mess up your teeth. It will start to rot out your teeth, which is inflamed teeth, inflammation, the body process telling you there's a sickness or there's an illness trying to develop into your body. And everything starts in your mouth because it's going through your mouth. So it's inflamed or infection that cause your teeth to be bad. If you if you got infection or inflammation in your mouth that's causing your teeth to be bad, therefore it's going to get in your body sooner or later if you don't does not take care of those bad teeth. And that's why I stated that bad teeth will cause you to have bad uh, problems in your body, some sickness and illness in your body. So you need to take care of any cavities you got or bad teeth you got for your body to be better, healthier, and live longer. Some people never go to the dentist, never take care of it, and just continue to eat with those teeth being bad and wonder why their health is getting better. Worse, worse, worse. Let's see another question that someone sent in was, uh, what was monk fruit? And I told you it was a natural fruit, uh, and it curbs the sugar craving. Don't It makes you don't want more sugar. Like sugar, you naturally usually be want you more sugar. The more you eat it, the more sugar you want, because it coincides with the brain and the function of the brain. It reduces the hormone out of your brain, that, and the more that dopamine hormone released out your brain, the more sugar you're going to want, and the more you want to feel that feel good feeling. So you want something that's going to curb that appetite of craving sugar, and monk fruit is a good thing to crave the sugar. Um, okay, okay, okay. Because brown sugar is in that regular natural state. The white sugar has been refined, and they have took some of the nutrients out of the sugar that you need. Remember, if it's white, don't buy it. Brown sugar is consists of date, for one thing. Dates are healthy for you, because it's a natural fruit from the body for the body. So the more natural state you get into, the better it's going to be for your health. And that's why that brown sugar is better than the white sugar. More healthier. And that's what my next question is. Matter of fact, is my next question is saying, is date sugar better, and why? Date sugar is brown sugar, and it's an anti-inflammatory, it's an antibacterial, it's an antioxidant. Remember, it's help those cells develop, destroy those free radicals that's causing the cells to be bad, and reduce the damage that have been done to your cells. Antibacterial, all those bad bacteria, getting rid of it. So date sugar have a lot of uh, nutritional value and healthy for you. It's also fat free, uh, low glycemic, low sugar in date sugar, but it's still sweet. Cholesterol free, it's gluten free, so it's not going to run your cholesterol up and harm your heart. Gluten free. A lot of people that can't eat gluten because it's messing up their intestines down, and it's gluten free. No wheat, no products, no rye products, all those products that make you have intestinal problems. So date is awesome for you. Sodium free also, no sodium is in date. So date sugar is a good thing to sweeten your food with. Someone got another question here. Yes, honey can be a substitute for artificial sweetener, but remember, honey got a lot of sugar in it, so you don't need a lot of honey to sweeten your stuff. Don't overdo it. You don't have to put a lot of honey like you do the sugar. Don't take butter just like a half a teaspoon. It's going to how much you sweeten it. It don't take as much honey as it will sugar. So especially if you're a diabetic or you have a tendency for diabetes or running your family. So you got to be careful for how much. Use it in moderation. Honey got a lot of more nutritional values than sugar have. I told you a situation how some bees had attacked my legs one time. I was out in my yard, and And I mean, they just came out of the ground somewhere and just attacked my legs. I could barely make it in the house. And by the time I made it in the house, I looked at my legs. They was pussy, red, swollen all over my legs. Big pussy areas of red and swollen. Those bees had attacked my legs that bad. And I'm like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? I tried witch hazel. I tried alcohol, but it was just like burning my legs more. Then it come to me, let me get some of my raw honey that I just had got from someone. And I coated my legs for 3 days with raw honey, just honey. And by the third day, my legs had came back to normal condition. Wasn't a sign on my leg saying that I had got bitten by those bees. It was like a miracle happened to my legs. And so honey got the antimicrobial, antioxidant in it, anti-inflammatory in it. Yes, very nutrition value. Oh yeah, yes, definite. Artificial sweeteners definitely make you uh, fatter because the sugar content. The more sugar you get, the more sugar you're gonna want to get. And so you're gonna eat more and more sugar, and the more sugar you crave for, you're gonna want to crave for the refined stuff and the the processed stuff. It's gonna make you want to crave for things that not are in an original state that you don't need. So you're gonna gain more and more weight, fat gonna build up. And one main danger of artificial sweeteners was the fatty liver, and that liver is nothing to play with. Remember, it's the warehouse of the body. It stores and makes a lot of the proteins and the bile and break down the food. Uh, so that liver is very, very valuable. That's right. I made it through the attack. Bees don't play, but that honey didn't play that day either. It surely didn't. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those questions, and thank you very much for complimenting me on about the bees. Yes, I'll never forget that. Never forget that. So yes, honey will also be better than brown sugar to me because honey came to my rescue that day with nothing else. Okay, in tea, lemonade, whatever you want to put it in. Different folks, different strokes, as they say. That's called individuality. Different folks like love different stuff. So if you prefer honey, the brown sugar, put in your tea, lemonade, whatever you're drinking, go ahead, put it in there because you got a lot of nutritional value uh, with the honey. And to me, the honey is not as will leave you as much fat as any sugar. The honey will be more natural. Um, Between the honey and the brown sugar, just like I said, the honey is more natural state from the bees. Yeah. Is that something to think about? Uh, I took that honey after the bees attacked my legs. I took the honey and overcome the bee bite. And honey comes from bees, but it's not the same kind of bees that the honey comes from that attacked my legs. That was like ground bees that attacked my legs. But that was a good thing though. That was a very good thing. All right, all right. Just love your questions there. Let's see. I got another question here. It says, "Why is fiber important for the diet?" The fiber gives your body a lot of buck in your stew and form your stew. Okay. It also absorbs water, excess fluid and water out your body. See, a lot of people with a lot of swelling at times, their feet swell a lot. No, they may need more fiber. They're not getting enough fiber in their diet. And if they're not getting enough fiber in their diet, evidently they're going to have a constipation problem also. So I'm seeing young people lately, a lot of young people with their feet very swollen, and I'm like, wow. So it speeds up the movement of the what we call peristalsis in your GI tract, in your intestinal tract, that help the food break down and then digest through your body, through your stomach, your small intestines, and then your large intestines. It speeds up the peristalsis movement through your body so that food won't sit right there on your stomach or right there in your small intestine. Yeah, but go on through so it can break on down and go in that large intestine and on throughout your rectum, and you have a good bowel movement. You won't be constipated. But you love the honey, and good, good. There's a little honey people put in their smoothies and their fruits. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, a lot of fiber good for your body. Yes, it is. It also will stop you from having cancer. Remember, the longer that stool stay in you, the longer those toxins are piling up in you around your colon, and a lot of people having colon cancer. So you take that fiber and help. That fiber goes in and help clean that stool on out of you and get it where it need to be out of your rectum. Artificial sweetness, yeah, that's feeding cancer. Remember, sugar feeds cancer because of the sweetness of it. It feeds those cells, and those cells stay right there and keep on multiplying because of the sugar content. It's going to increase those cells to sit there and linger, and still be sick and linger and multiplying and dividing and keep on breaking up and going doing some damage in your body. It's helping them do what it's put there to do, those cancer cells. Or just about all the fruits have fiber in it. All the fruits have fiber in it. And vegetables have fiber in it. That's why I made a statement that it's better to have a magic bullet, a smoothie, than the juices. A lot of people are juicing now. And when you juice it, you lose the fiber. So if you can take that fiber and not throw it in the garbage can after you juice, take it and save it and put it in some of your food gradually at a time. When you eat your food, you still get your fiber. Don't throw it in a garbage can. You throw in one of the best parts in the garbage can after you juice. So you need to take that and keep on using the fiber part that comes out after you know juiced it. So that's why fiber is so important for your body. All right, I got another question here. Let's see. Why is coconut important for your body? Because I mentioned about the coconut water would be good to drink instead of the sodas. Coconut is low in carbs. Somebody just mentioned obesity just a while ago. The more the sugar, the more carbohydrates. Carbohydrates and sugar is hand to hand. Remember that when you're looking at your ingredients on your products, look at the carbohydrate as well as the sugar contents. There's a low carbohydrates in coconut. Coconuts are healthy because they are high in fiber, got a lot of fiber, and they low in fat. And that's what you want, something that's high in fiber and low in fat, unless it's a healthy fat. Okay. That's the only kind of coconut have in the healthy type fat, gluten free. It don't cause no digestion tract problems because it's gluten free. Don't have that gluten that's causing a lot of celiac diseases and sicknesses of the colon and the digestion tract. It promotes controlling blood pressure. Coconut, excellent. Help control blood pressure. I use coconut often, and I put it in different parts of my foods, of my smoothies. Coconut is also an antioxidant, antibacterial. So hey, it's also proteins in coconut, vitamins in the coconut, copper, which helps with the building of proteins and iron in and selenium. Oh my God, you got a lot of minerals in coconut. Coconut are very, very popular. Okay, it's an antioxidant. It helps builds up your cells, protect your cells. So it's very, very popular. Someone had another question, I believe I've seen over here. Okay. Yes, stevia is not artificial sugar, it's a natural sugar. It's the best natural sugar to me. Now, a lot of people, some people don't like the taste that it leave behind the stevia, a little bitter like taste. But it's the best natural sugar to me. All right. Let's see. I got another question here. It says, what's the difference between the diet soda and the regular soda? The regular soda is full of carbonated water and high fructose sweeteners, artificial sweeteners. That's all sodas is. Carbonated water, that fizzy water, and artificial sweeteners is sodas. Diet sodas have a more of a of the substitute sugars that we had mentioned earlier, the saccharum, the sucrose, uh, these things that the FDA passed. They don't give you the energy, but they have some sweetness and they little bit more nutrition on the diet sodas than the regular sodas. But it still got that little fizz in it and a little bit of caffeine in it. So you have to still be careful with the diet sodas because when everything said diet, is not necessarily diet. So that's why it's best to change to these other drinks that I say you can substitute sodas for, like 100% fruit, coconut water, natural flavored lemon lime, seltzer water, things that are more of a natural state. Let's see. Gin, okay. Okay, you want to know is Sprite better than the ginger ale itself? Uh, Ginger ale, you got to define what kind of ginger ale it is. I find out if it's not the ginger ale that said 100% ginger, you still getting something like sugar and water. Okay, so you want the one that say 100% ginger in that ginger ale if you're going to drink some ginger ale. Sprite soda is close to lemon lime soda, but lemon lime soda is more of a natural soda than the Sprite soda. Sprite soda it give you more sugar. and just like a soda. Mineral water. Make sure it's that natural mineral water. It's the real deal. You don't want no imitation stuff. You got to look at the ingredients and remember the number one ingredients is the most in that product. Number two is the next most. Number three is the next most in that product. So you look at the first three ingredients and see that it's 100% mineral water, and is that company that producing that mineral water is a reputable company that you can depend on. And again, I'm all with the organic, 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 without any chemicals. So always read your ingredients. The artificial sweeteners that you should avoid, other than that, all of them, other than the five I told you that the FDA passed, and I wouldn't even use the ones that they passed because it's not all natural. They are more sweeter than even sugar, and they're giving you body weight. I broke down the body weight, and I told you the aspartame had more body weight, like 40, than the rest of all those five that FDA have passed. And they passed it as additives to food. There's no scientific evidence saying, okay, it's not going to do this to you, it's not going to do this to you. It's just as an additive to your drink or food or whatever you put in the sweetener in. So I would say go back to your stevia, go back to your natural uh, uh, products of sweeteners that I mentioned that you should be using. Your monk fruit, your your dried fruit, your stevia, your honey, as you mentioned a few minutes ago. Go back to the natural state. That would be the most safest one to use. Artificial, sweetener to use. Artificial wise, you got the uh, sucrose, the Splendor. I would say most of the Splendor, but will probably of all the five that the FDA have approved. I would say the more probably the Splendor, either the Sweet and Low, if you just want to use artificial um, sweetener. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see where we're going here now. What else? Question. I have got another question. So, what is good and what is bad about soy milk? Someone asked about soy milk. This is something else that you can drink, and you don't want the sodas. Um, Babies are given soy milk. About 750,000 infants, I find out, are given soy milk in the United States a year because they can't take dairy products. And a lot of people cannot take dairy products. And if you notice in the video, I mentioned be careful with the soy milk because too much soy milk will also constipate you. And you don't supposed to have over 3 servings of soy milk a day. You can get constipated with soy milk. So you got to be careful with that. Okay. What chemicals that are dangerous in, okay. Okay. In the sodas. The chemicals that are dangerous and okay, I got you now. The sugar is one of the main things. Remember, carbonated sodas are just carbonated waters and a bunch of sugar, and they have some kind of those colored flavored those colored and artificial coloring to it, flavoring to the sodas, that's dangerous because anything artificial can cause cancer because it's not in the original state. So therefore, it's going to cause inflammation in your body. Inflammation, redness, swelling, discomfort, pain, any kind of inflammation setting you up for an infection. Antioxidant have to be given those free radicals. It's going to form a lot of free radicals, as I told you before. Uh, Uncharged molecules of electrons, protons, neutrons to sustain life. So it's not, if it's not sustaining life, it's causing death to you. So that's the danger of the high sugar contents that's being put in there. Some of the carbonated waters that's being put in the sodas, and some of the artificial coloring that is being put in the sodas. You're setting yourself up for some cancer. Yes, soy can act on your testosterone, and yes, it can. It can be dangerous in your testosterone and lower because it can act on your hormones. So you got to be very careful with soy. Sodium would increase belly fat because it's sugar. Remember, sugar and starches go right to your stomach, and it's gonna cause some belly fat because your stomach said, "Wait a minute, I'm not prepared to identify with this high content of sugar, so I'm just gonna store it here on top of that stomach as fat." So it stopped right there to your stomach. It don't go to your small intestine and then large intestine and go out your body. Sit right there. Soy will pile up fat also, but that's how it makes you constipated also. When you got so much fat there, you're not gonna got enough fluid there to go through your stomach and your small intestine for peristalsis to cause the stew to break down and go down in your large intestine and come out your body. So you're gonna sit right there with constipation in your small intestine there. And a lot of people are backed up right now with stew in their small intestines and hadn't gone on down in their large intestines. They come on out through the rectum. And they wondering, oh, I just had a bowel movement. I just ate a bunch of food and I just had a bowel movement and let it right out. When you have a bowel movement, it don't say that you just let out what you just ate because you got bowel backed up in your small intestine that haven't came down in your large intestine yet. You probably just let out what you had right there at your large intestine from the day or two before then. It's going to how regular you having a bowel movement. All right. Okay. Yeah, so it's not a big thing though. Um, okay, let's see here. Let's see something else on soy. Soy reduces cholesterol. That's a good thing. It's high in protein. That's a good thing. And it's closer to cow's milk. That's a good thing. And it's not dairy. Okay, it's got some proteins and it's got some fiber in it. And it will reduce the blood pressure. And it is known to reduce breast cancer also at times. So that's a positive on some soy milk. Okay. But soy milk also produces gas because remember, it's going to start to slow down the peristalsis. And that's why you start to get constipated because it's producing some gas and it's sitting right there in your stomach. All right. You're supposed to have no. Uh, you're supposed to have fewer, only fewer than 3 bowel movements a week. You constipated. If you don't have a 3 bowel movements a week, you still constipated. You still got some bowel left up in your up small intestine that have not came on down in your large intestine to get out through your rectum. So if you having more than 3 bowel movements a week, you good shape. But less than bowel movements in a week, which is 7 days, you in bad shape. You constipated. That's what constipation is. Okay. All right. So it also causes you to have Crohn's disease uh, of soy milk. Will these are the negatives of it. And Crohn's disease when they have a lot of diarrhea, and sometimes people got diarrhea because they're really constipated. You got the around the stool that's in you get liquid and come out, and you like, oh wow, I'm cleaning up my body, but it's just around that stool. The solid part of the stool is not coming out of you. You constipated, and it can make you have thyroid problems when you deal with soy milk, and people have soy allergies at times. So it's different kinds of soy. And if you get that GMO kind of soy, you in problems. And you should not give soy milk under a child under 2 year old should not drink soy milk. That's a negative. So remember those things about soy milk. Very, very important because a lot of people can't take dairy products and they turn into soy, and that's not good. All right. Yes, it causes gas. Acts as a dairy product, but it's not a dairy product. That is exactly true. And someone asked, what are some allergies of soy? And that's coughing, sneezing, vomiting, with swelling in your face, diarrhea, fainting. Those are some symptoms of soy. You allergic to soy because a lot of people not aware that they're allergic to soy. Okay, let's see anybody else. Okay, I got another question. Somebody CNN said, um, "How old was the artificial sweeteners?" And they are old, but they came out and being known in the 1960s, uh, and they got more and more popular because people was using fat-free diet to try to get slimmer, and it wasn't working, so they turned to the artificial sweeteners, uh, and which was less food energy, but 3 times sweeter than the sugar. So, and then they went to the 0 calories, artificial sweetness, 0 calories, not thinking about what else may be in that product. Okay. Sparkling water. Yes, better to drink sparkling water than that soda, right? Because sparkling water don't have that sugar, that maybe artificial sweeteners or whatever they don't put in that soda, those chemicals that the sparkling water got. Sparkling water is more natural. Yes, that's one of the product things I told you you can drink. Uh, you want that fizz in your water instead of a soda. But make sure you look on there and it say the natural. Let's see, another question say, is aspartame a worse sweetener? Yes, it was worse because I said it have a higher body weight. It have a higher body weight, put more body weight on you than the other um, five, the other artificial sweeteners that the FDA passed, aspartame. And let's see what we got here now. We got another question. Um, why was artificial sweeteners worse? Because they sweeter than sugar. Okay, and they got more additives to it. Some of them do. Um, okay, and I also brought out. Someone said about the sweeteners. Tell the brain it's pleasure, and you got that feel good because it's releasing dopamine hormone and the opium hormone when you got these artificial sweeteners. It activates the neurotransmitter in your brain hormone called dopamine that says, okay, I feel good, I can do anything, I just need to get some more in me, and I feel better and better and better. It's like an addiction it produces in your brain that's saying you want more and more sugar. It also helps your pain because it releases opium in your pain. These artificial sweeteners do. You'll be amazed at what sugar do to your body. And then they put a little bit more chemicals in with the sugar and artificial stuff what they got in there. And they don't tell everything that they put in it. So it releases these dopamine hormones that make large amounts in your brain. Naturally, you got dopamine in your brain, and it's on your kidneys. Dopamine, and it works good to do a lot of good stuff in your body. It works with the heart. We give dopamine when somebody blood pressure too low to make their blood pressure come up. We give dopamine to dilute their kidneys to produce more urine. So dopamine is in the body naturally, but it comes out as it needed. But then the artificial sweeteners go in there and it releases cause a lot of dopamine to release out of your brain at one time. Then that's when that problem comes and you want more and more and more. It's like it addicts you to want more and more of the sweetener. Yeah, and they are putting these sweeteners in that sodas, as I said before. Yes, they are. All right. So, why do high sugar? How do sugar do for the liver? It causes a fatty, what we call a fatty liver. It build up fat on the liver and also can cause liver cancer. These artificial sugars can. And what one of the first symptoms that you may know you got problem with your liver, a fatty liver. The liver is in the right upper abdominal area, and you have a lot of pain in that area. You may have some swelling in that area. Remember, everything starts from inflammation. Inflammation is pain, swelling, and redness. And you keep on having that pain and discomfort in your upper right side. You may need to go and get some liver enzyme, blood liver enzymes drawn. Either take some x-rays of your liver and make sure you haven't damaged your liver in any way. But the artificial sweeteners in the sodas or the juices, you may have damaged it some other way. Okay, so you have to be very careful with the liver now. That's right. Anything fake you don't need to take. Anything fake you don't need to take because it's gonna cause some problems in your body. And that's what I'm all about. Telling the natural way of doing things. All right. What do dopamine do for us? And as I told you before, dopamine uh, is a neurotransmitter in your brain. It helps you with your movement, help you with your thinking. It help you with remembering things, motivate you, uh, help you to learn. And it's on your kidneys and it's on your brain. Dopamine. It helps with the lining in our gastrointestinal tract. It helps increase your urine output. It helps release the salt out your uh, urine, excess salt, the sodium in your body. So dopamine is very, very important for your body. Very, very important. So it's produced in large amounts in our brain. That's when it have problems. And what makes the dopamine produced in large amounts in our brain is these artificial sweeteners and sugars that's in juices and sodas. It's like a feel good hormone then. It's all in making you feel good, but it's not good for you because there's too much dopamine being released at one time. And the last question, someone said, so I need to look for 100% fruit juices. Yes, you need to look for 100% fruit juices. No artificial stuff. When you go and buy your juices, look for something that's saying 100% fruit juices. Even though it may say it on the front of it, look on the back at the ingredients and make sure that's what's in the ingredients, 100% fruit juices. A lot of people put the citric acids in it, and they don't say the amount. And those acids can eat your stomach up. That's in sodas in these juices. That's another one of them chemicals that's in there. So you got to be very careful about messing with stuff like that. And overindulging. People just drink one soda after another, one soda after another, and it works on their kidneys. And then after a while, they start having kidney problems. Remember, dopamine is in the brain and in the kidneys. It helps release over amount of dopamine in the kidneys, over and amount dopamine in the brain. Then you got a major problem starting off. And some of the things, the dangers of artificial sweeteners, we had said it spike the blood sugar to go higher. And hey, and you don't have enough insulin to cover that blood sugar. It decrease the insulin in the pancreas that's being made in the pancreas, the insulin hormone. It decreases that hormone and you got blood sugar problems. And you become addicted to these sugars. I told you about the activate the brain, and it can cause brain tumors. Sometimes they're cancers, and sometimes they're not cancers. But if you keep feeding them with the artificial flavors, it can become cancers because it mess up the cells, cause depression. You're depressed, you're looking for something to make you feel better. So therefore, you're looking for something that's gonna uh, pep you up a lot. So you start eating these sweeteners, and they're addicted, and you want some more. You want some more. You want some more. Okay, and so then you got a problem. Then you can't just stop right then. You feel like you got to keep on drinking those sodas. You got to keep on drinking those juices with all this artificial stuff in it. You have more anxiety. Your mood change. And then you feed on one thing, feed on another thing. I told you about the liver. It causes liver damage because the liver can't keep up with all the activity that it got going on in there. Cause stroke, memory loss, heart disease, because the inflammation. Sugar causes inflammation. Inflammation causes infection. Infection can cause death. Most people that's got that die of cancer and different sickness and diseases, they usually don't die of the disease itself. It's some kind of infection that takes them out. Um, yes, sugar is just as bad as sodium, salt. Right, it is. They both go hand in hand. Both of them are poisons to the body, I would say, because it would go in there and cause some damage, especially if it's artificial. It's not the natural stuff. Okay. The dementia is another thing. Artificial sweeteners will cause dementia. The brain, remember, uh, it releases that high dose of dopamine in the brain, and all that sugar content sums up to inflammation and get that brain inflamed. You're not going to think right. You're going to have problems with your coordinating yourself. You're going to have problems remembering things because of the inflammation of build up in your brain from all this sugar. Headaches, migraine headaches. A lot of people have migraine headaches from these artificial flavors. Continues over a period of time, and they wonder why they got the migraine headache. Irritable bowel syndrome. That goes hand in hand with Crohn's disease. Then they have to cut out certain things out of the appetite because everything just give them diarrhea. The foods they seem to be allergic to a lot of foods because you messed up your lining up your intestinal tract with the excessive artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners, and the sugar and the juices. I gained a lot of weight, got too fat because it interfered with your breakdown of your food and all your metabolism of your body, breaking down of your food. You think you're hungry, but you're not hungry, so you eat more and more and more. Remember, that dopamine and it speeds up and it says dopamine be released from your brain. It make you think things that you that's not real. That's why I say artificial flavoring, artificial sweetener. You thinking it's real, but it's not. It's not. So you think you're hungry, but you're not hungry. So you eat more and more and more and get bigger and bigger and bigger and fatter and fatter. More fat accumulating because your body can't break down the fat like it's supposed to. It interferes with the metabolism of your body, breaking down your proteins and everything. So you got a big problem there. So This is a big problem and been a big problem for years, and it came more and more of a big problem in the early 60s, 1960s. Artificial sweeteners was out there before, but it came more and more a problem because people thought they can get thinner if they can cut shortcuts. Everybody always trying to cut short ways of doing things. The shortcut is not always the right cut. So you cutting something short, you cutting something out that you need. And so they taking out all the natural stuff out of a lot of foods and putting uh, substitutes in, which is artificial stuff in, to make people feel good longer and all. And there's no nutritional value to it. So this is our teaching that we had on this week. I'm trying to cover everything that I taught. I believe I have covered about everything. Anybody else have any more questions? I'm glad someone learned something. You got some vital organs in your body that you need to those organs to act the right way for you to extend your life, especially your brain. You want to extend your brain, you want to live a long time. So we got to keep our brain in tight. So these artificial flavors and sweeteners really do a job on our brain. And you wonder why so many people got Alzheimer's and dementia. So, amen. We lose that brain. We losing a great thing. We need that brain to carry on our everyday process. Because our mind, as they say, is a terrible thing to lose. So we love you all. We're not sure what we're going to be coming on with next. But, and we, yes, thank you. Glad you learned something. Yes, you was a little quieter this time. All right. Thank you very much for being on. And don't forget to like, put on your notification buttons. Like, share, and invite someone to subscribe. Yes, stay away from the artificial sweeteners, please. And the sodas, please. Just because you feel good with it, don't say it's doing good to your body. And we thank you all. You have a good night tonight. Be safe. And we love you all, and we want you to have a healthier and long and better life. Good night.